The offside rule. Have you ever screamed at your TV, completely convinced the player was obviously offside, only for the referee to wave play on and leave you looking absolutely clueless in front of everyone in the room? Well, that's because most people have been watching the offside rule wrong their entire lives. Here's the thing. Offside is not judged when the player receives the ball. It's judged the exact moment your teammate plays it. So if your striker is standing onside when the pass is made, but sprints into an offside position before the ball arrives, completely fine. Nothing to see here. Play on. And if you thought that was sneaky, just wait. Your arms don't count at all. The offside line only measures the parts of your body that can legally score a goal, which means a player can be flagged offside from their shoulder alone. Their shoulder, not their foot, not their chest, their shoulder. VAR lines in the Premier League are now so precise, they can measure this to the centimeter using semi-automated camera technology, which is honestly both impressive and mildly terrifying. Oh, and if a defender deliberately plays the ball to you, you cannot be offside from that touch. The rule resets entirely. So next time you're about to completely lose your mind at the linesman, just ask yourself, do you actually know when offside is measured? Exactly. The goalkeeper's 8-second secret. Imagine you're the goalkeeper. You've just made the save of your life. The crowd is going absolutely wild. You're cradling the ball like it's made of solid gold, catching your breath, playing it cool. And technically, you've got exactly 8 seconds before you've committed a crime. So most football fans have no idea this rule even exists, let alone that it was updated in 2025. IFAB, the body that writes the laws of the game, changed the punishment for a goalkeeper holding the ball too long from an indirect free kick to a corner kick. A corner for holding on too long. It's like getting a parking ticket for sitting in your own driveway a little too comfortably. And it gets better. The referee is now required to count down the final 5 seconds with a raised hand, right there in the middle of the pitch. A literal countdown in a football match. The same sport where players spend 45 minutes pretending a light tap on the shin requires immediate surgery. Simon Mignolet once held the ball for a whopping 22 seconds during a Liverpool match against Bordeaux before a referee finally had enough and called it. 22 seconds. That's enough time to make a cup of tea. Honestly, a referee standing in a penalty area doing a 5-second countdown is the kind of chaotic energy football never knew it needed. The back pass rule. If you were a defender in a genuinely tight spot, you'd think the safest move in the world is to just slide the ball back to your goalkeeper. And you'd be right, unless you used your foot. Because the moment you do that, you've just handed the opposition a free kick, and now everyone is staring at you. The back pass rule has been around since 1992, introduced specifically to stop goalkeepers picking the ball up and holding it for entire minutes, while the other team slowly lost the will to live. If a teammate deliberately kicks the ball back to the keeper cannot pick it up with their hands. Simple enough. But here's where people get creative. If you head it back, the keeper can pick it up. If you chest it back, perfectly legal. Knee it back, no problem. Which led to players realizing they could simply flick the ball up with their foot and chest it back, completely bypassing the rule. Smart thinking, except referees caught on quickly. Marco Verratti tried exactly this and walked away with a yellow card for his troubles. And if this whole rule wasn't already confusing enough, here's a bonus. If a throw-in goes directly into your own net without another player touching it, it doesn't count as an own goal. A corner is awarded instead. You can't score directly from a throw-in. Have you ever watched a player launch an absolute missile of a throw-in from the sideline and thought, what if that thing just went straight in? Well, funny you should ask, because it literally cannot count as a goal. The laws of football are very clear on this one, even if the goalkeepers involved haven't always gotten the memo. If a throw-in goes directly into the opponent's goal without any other player touching it, it's not a goal. A goal kick is awarded. If it somehow goes directly into the thrower's own net, it's a corner to the opposition. So the only way a throw-in can result in a goal is if another player touches it first, whether that's a teammate scoring from the flick-on or a goalkeeper tragically palming it into their own net. And the throw itself has more rules than most people realize. Both feet must be on or behind the touchline at the moment of delivery. The ball must be thrown from behind the head using both hands. Any deviation from this and the throw goes straight to the other team. It's basically the basketball inbound pass, except somehow with even more ways to get it wrong. If you enjoyed that and you're learning things you genuinely didn't know, make sure you subscribe, because there is a lot more where this came from. The penalty rebound rule. Picture this. You've stepped up to take a penalty in the biggest match of your career. The stadium is silent. You smash it. It hits the post with a horrible clang. The ball bounces straight back to your feet. You smash it in. Crowd goes absolutely mental. Goal, right? Wrong. wrong. You've just committed an offense. And most of the people celebrating with you have absolutely no idea. Under FIFA's laws, if a penalty kick hits the post or the crossbar and rebounds back to the original kicker, that player cannot legally score from the rebound. An indirect free kick is awarded against them. The ball has to be touched by another player first, whether that's a teammate running in or the goalkeeper getting a hand to it. The goalkeeper changes everything here. If the keeper deflects the ball and it comes back to the kicker can go again. But if the post does the redirecting, the taker is done. Finished. Step aside. The 2025/26 IFAB clarifications also confirmed that even an accidental double touch, where the kicker nudges the ball forward slightly after hitting it, means the penalty has to be retaken entirely. Deliberate? That's an indirect free kick to the defending team. So if you ever find yourself in that position, just pass it to a teammate first. Or better yet, don't miss the target. The shirt-off yellow card. You've just scored the greatest goal of your career. The crowd is completely losing its mind. Your teammates are sprinting towards you from halfway. The emotion is literally overflowing out of every single part of your body. You rip your shirt off in pure, uncontrollable joy, and the referee walks straight over and books you. Welcome to football. FIFA introduced the shirt removal yellow card back in 2004 under Law 12, and the stated reasons were actually fairly sensible. It was designed to prevent players revealing political or offensive messages on undershirts during matches, and to stop goal celebrations eating into playing time. Reasonable enough on paper. But it does mean that football, a sport that celebrates passion above almost everything else, has made it technically illegal to be too happy about scoring a goal. And it's not just the shirt. Climbing into the stands to celebrate with supporters can earn you a booking too. You could say football looked at unbridled human joy and said, that needs a yellow card. These guys have been doing it for over 20 years, and they still can't help themselves. Ronaldo, Rooney, players at every level of the game, they all know the rule, and they all get caught by it anyway. At this point, the yellow card has basically become part of the celebration itself. If you're finding these rules genuinely surprising, drop a comment below telling us which one shocked you the most. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now would be a great time. The free kick wall rule. If you were designing the perfect free kick from a tactical standpoint, you'd probably want one of your own players standing right inside the defensive wall, just hanging around, causing chaos, nudging someone out of position at the exact moment the kick is taken. Clever, devious, completely illegal. IFAB introduced a rule specifically banning attacking players from standing within 1 meter of any defensive wall containing 3 or more players. The official reasoning was wonderfully blunt about it too. Their statement described the practice as having no legitimate tactical justification and said it damaged the image of the game. Not the worst thing football has ever seen, but apparently bad enough to need its own law. If an attacker breaches that 1 meter distance before the kick is taken, an indirect free kick is immediately awarded to the defending team. So not only does the trickery not work, it actively hands possession back to the opposition. The wall wins. The rule only applies before the ball is in play, though. Once the kick is taken, the wall dissolves and everyone can go wherever they like. It's essentially football saying, you can have your wall, they just can't help you build it. The golden goal imagined FIFA sitting in a boardroom in 1993 and saying, you know what would make extra time genuinely exciting? If the very first goal scored ends the entire match instantly. Great idea. Genuinely terrible outcome. When the golden goal rule was introduced to encourage attacking football during extra time, the thinking was that if one goal could end everything, teams would throw caution to the wind and go for it. What actually happened was the complete opposite. Both teams became so terrified of conceding that they tucked themselves into defensive shapes and basically tried to survive long enough to reach penalties. The rule designed to produce more goals produced some of the most suffocating, nerve-shredding football ever played, which to be fair, is peak football in its own way. The first World Cup golden goal came in 1998 when French defender Laurent Blanc scored in the 114th minute to eliminate Paraguay in the round of 16. France went on to win that tournament, so the rule at least got its fairy tale moment. But the problems were already visible. FIFA then introduced an even more confusing variation called the silver goal, where the team leading at the end of the first period of extra time would win. It lasted from 2002 to 2004 and was abandoned just as quickly. Greece knocked out the Czech Republic with a silver goal in the Euro 2004 semi-final, and that was essentially the final nail in the coffin. The most quietly funny detail in all of this, the rule was originally called sudden death. FIFA renamed it the golden goal because the phrase sudden death sounded too negative. They changed the name, kept the chaos, and then scrapped the whole thing anyway. In the end, FIFA's big idea to make extra time thrilling produced some of the most boring extra time in football history, which honestly feels very on brand. If you enjoyed this video, which I believe you did, hit on the subscribe button.